This is 5 in 10 from SkyWatchTV for Monday, August 18th, 2025. I'm Derek Gilbert. A special program today. As you'll see, we're not on the set over there. We're on the set over here. And joining me, a couple of gentlemen who will be featured on upcoming episodes of SkyWatchTV to promote forthcoming books. And joining me to talk a little bit about what's going on in Israel right now, we are honored to welcome to the program Pastor Carl Gallups and Messianic Rabbi Zev Porat. Gentlemen, thank you for making the trip here to the Ozarks.
Thank you for having us. Shalom. Good to be here.
Thank you.
We here in the West have learned, if nothing else, from President Trump over the last 9 years, that the media has an agenda, and the agenda is not necessarily the truth. We learned when we were in Israel in 2023, and we saw all the people out on the streets, which was not nearly as many people as was being broadcast on the media back home. We were getting messages from people, are you okay? We've been told the airport's been shut down. The parks are all closed. None of that was true. What is actually happening in Israel as far as on the streets? How are the people responding? And not necessarily politically, because again, I don't trust what I'm hearing about the protests against Benjamin Netanyahu. How are people responding to what's been going on over the last almost 2 years now since the war began with Hamas?
Well, first of all, let's talk a little bit about the protests. There's a small group of people that are really going against Netanyahu. It's not what the news portrays, that everybody's against Netanyahu.
Oh, I know.
Most of Israel are pro Netanyahu. Not that he's an angel, but he's doing a good job, we believe. And so the protests that you're seeing on television and all over the news is really a small group of people. It's not hundreds of thousands of people walking around the streets and everything is closed. It's not. It looks like that on television, so that's not
You
true.
can frame the shots to make it look like it's something that it isn't.
Yeah, the spiritual side of it is to scare people from coming to Israel. Because if you see that, you're not going to get on an airplane and come to Israel. You're going to think it's war zone over there, it's ground zero. Now, we went through a war, that's all true. But it's not true that it's dangerous to be in the center of Israel right now, because it's not. The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob is protecting it. And to be honest, it's dangerous to be anywhere in the world right now. I mean, there's no place safe.
New York City, Washington, D.C.
So,
I mean,
my hometown, Chicago.
What are you going to do? Shut yourself in the house. I mean,
yeah.
So on the spiritual side, what are we seeing in Israel? Well, first of all, the whole situation is very heartbreaking. What happened? I could tell you that when the missiles were firing in from Iran, I'm here by miracle today. I should have been killed 3 times at least, because people were flocking to the bomb shelters, but not everybody has a bomb shelter in their house or even in their apartment. Some of them are across the street, and we were helping the people do that in the ministry, get to the bomb shelters, children panicking, old people panicking, Holocaust survivors panicking. A lot of people who didn't even get affected by the missile itself either got a heart attack or lost their hearing, or right now are just in trauma from the whole situation. On the physical side, I was driving my car on the highway. You don't always hear the sirens over there, Derek. And by the time one of those missiles hit from Iran, my car jumped from one lane to the other. I've never seen it just from the after the bomb. If there would have been a car on the other side, I would have been killed. And so God is protecting, that's for sure. Another thing is the amount of missiles that were fired in from Iran. It is impossible that the ones that fell almost didn't do any damage. There was a little bit damage. And I saw holes in the ground of, Israel's a very small country. And so the way they built everything is very tight. And so for the fact that these huge 25-foot missiles fell and made holes in the ground and didn't touch the buildings is a miracle.
Yeah. He talked about how he saw a hole in the ground the size of a room.
Probably bigger than this room.
Than this whole studio, this whole studio. And then house around house,
not touched.
House, not touched.
How can that be?
It fell right in the middle. No, didn't touch it.
Wow.
Yeah. That's one example.
The world opinion seems to have turned very quickly against Israel. There was
because of the media.
Yeah, and that was my point there. The media has put out a narrative, and it has framed the conflict as the oppressor and the oppressed, which is really a very Marxist way of viewing things, because Israel is a prosperous nation where people live in freedom, contrary to what many of us here in the West have been taught. Even Christians are living and thriving in Israel. The number of Christians, percentage of Christians growing in Israel. It's the only place in the Middle East where that's true. And yet the media frames it the opposite. And so the poor Palestinian Arabs must be the oppressed, and so we should support them. How is this affecting the mood, not just politically, but spiritually in Israel? How does this wear on you?
Israel is a country where we live, Jews and Arabs together. And so a lot of the Arabs have families in Jordan, they have families in Syria, they have families even in Gaza, some of them. So it's affecting the relationship between Jews and Arabs in Israel. Having said that, a lot of them know that the media is doing it, and it's also backfiring on them. But people say there's going to be a civil war. There's not going to be a civil war.
Yeah, well, we heard that in the media when we were there in our tour back in 2023, that the country was on fire and everything was closed and we weren't going to be able to get out of the country. But you mentioned the Arabs, and I guess I should have brought that up. I mean, you got a country of about 10 million people.
10.2 million right now.
And about 2 million are Arabs.
2.5.
2.5 million.
Yeah.
And they can vote.
That's right.
And they have representation in the Knesset.
That's right.
Yeah, that's not what we hear over here. It's like, in fact, there's a very prominent, I'm not going to name her name, but people can guess, social influencer, media influencer here who actually thought the Muslim quarter of Jerusalem was the only place in Jerusalem Arabs could live, Muslims could live.
That's totally not true. You
I know.
Places in Haifa, in Akko, in Hadera, in Netanya, the Jews and Arabs are living together. In fact, you visited the hospital
Nazareth.
in Israel, right?
Yes, we did. Tel Aviv.
Did you notice who most of the doctors are?
We did, yes.
Most of the doctors are Arab doctors.
Yeah. And
so
somebody had brought as a gift for some of the IDF soldiers there honey that they brought over from the United States, but it wasn't kosher. So the soldiers couldn't eat it, but the Muslim nurse was more than happy to take it, and she was very happy.
My first trip ever to Israel, the tour bus pulls into this area where it was safe to walk around, kind of unattended, but you had borders and limits, and then be back at the bus at a certain time. So my wife and I take off down this little road in a neighborhood, and in a very safe part, mainly Hebrew people. Rounded the corner, and there was an Arab family eating outside with a big table, and they were eating. It was a beautiful day, and they recognized us as being tourists, and they said, and one of them spoke English, said, "Oh, you're with the tour bus? Yes, come eat with us. Eat, sit at the table, eat with us." I mean, just so loving and so sweet, and so we fellowship. We didn't stay and eat at the table with them. I said, "We don't want to offend you, but we got to be back a certain time. But we'll sit down and talk to you." And we did, had a great time. So I'm not trying to paint this lovely, beautiful, perfect picture. I'm just saying that if you get people who just want to live life, raise their children, go to work, and live life, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
But it's the terrorism, the terrorists,
that's what I was about to say.
The fringe groups that keep everything. And now today, a lot of that terrorism is pumped through American media and other media,
right,
and through universities and other institutions. And so people think, oh, everybody's like that. All the Arabs are like that. It's not true. Israel's a perfect example of it. They live together over there, many of them, and get along wonderfully well.
There were a lot of Arab soldiers that gave their life for Israel during this war, gave their life.
Yes. And Bedouins who were also, who are Arabs, who lost their lives during the attack on October 7th.
In the north, what happened over there, the 12 children that were killed?
Yes.
They were all Arabs.
Right.
They were killed from terrorism. The problem is terrorism. The problem is demonic. The problem is not the Arabs.
Yes. Yeah. The enemy wants to divide us, not just Christian and Jew, but also Jew and Arab, Christian and Muslim. It's you divide and conquer. Right. Very ancient strategy, but it keeps working.
And the media is working too, because Zev and I recently, not too long ago, we were talking to a guy, and we love the guy, but he was talking about Gaza and Hamas, and he says, all the Palestinians are evil, all the Palestinians are involved, all the Palestinians.
That's dangerous.
And we had to lovingly say, no, that's not right.
No.
But the media has brainwashed you. Yeah. So
no, it's very easy to think that way in just very black and white terms.
Yes.
And we need to be careful
that's
about
called
that.
Racism.
Yeah,
that's what that's called. Yeah,
absolutely.
The very thing the media says they hate, but then they spew it every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's why Jesus had to remind us to love our enemies, because if it was easy, we'd already all be doing it. So,
Yes.
Anyway, watch for them on upcoming episodes of SkyWatch TV. Messianic Rabbi Zev Porat, Pastor Carl Gallups, thank you for joining us today. And thank you for watching as we keep watch. I'm Derek Gilbert. This is 5 in 10 from SkyWatch TV.
Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can support the ministry of SkyWatch TV in our continued efforts to share the gospel of Jesus Christ throughout the four corners of the world and receive your very own copy of this incredible masterpiece when you order the Numbers That Prophesy special offer. Not only does this incredible opportunity include Troy Brewer's new book, Numbers That Prophesy, Hearing God Through Historic Headlines and Numbers That Preach, but it also includes I Predict. This incredible masterpiece features some of the world's foremost authorities on Bible prophecy, powerful voices like Paul McGuire, Dr. Gordon MacDonald, Troy Anderson, Dr. Larry Spargimino, Derek and Sharon Gilbert, Dr. Thomas Horn, Joel Richardson, Mark Biltz, Carl Gallups, and more, each revealing what they believe lies just ahead in these final prophetic days on earth. But that's not all. While supplies last, this special offer also includes, in beautifully bound hardback, Joel Richardson's best-selling book, Sinai to Zion, the untold story of the triumphant return of Jesus. From blazing fire on Sinai to the return of the Messiah, this impeccable work reveals how the final Exodus is yet to come. Joel Richardson uncovers forgotten prophecies that show Jesus returning just as he came, in clouds, fire, trumpets, and glory. This is the return of the King like you've never seen it presented before. Sold separately, these items hold a retail value of over $65. Yours now for your donation of only $45, which includes free shipping to all U.S. orders. So don't delay. You can support the ministry of SkyWatch TV and help us continue spreading the gospel of Jesus Christ right now by scanning the QR code on your screen, using the camera app on your phone for instant access to this special opportunity. You can also visit us at skywatchtvstore.com or call 1-844-750-4985 and ask for the Numbers That Prophesy special offer now.